Denny Hamlin just won his second race of the season. He's 45 years old, he's tied with Jeff Gordon on the all-time wins list, and his team president is openly saying they might have to fight him to let him leave. But here's the twist. Hamlin might be the one who walks away first, not because he has to, because he wants to. This is the retirement standoff that could define the final chapter of one of the greatest NASCAR careers ever built. Let's set the table fast. Denny Hamlin, driver of the number Taran, 11 Toyota for Joe Gibbs Racing, has publicly targeted the end of the 2027 season as his retirement date. He said it multiple times. He's been consistent about it. Then last weekend at Nashville Superspeedway, he took a penalty for jumping the start, drop to the back in the field, and still managed to hunt down the entire pack and beat his own teammates, Christopher Bell and Chase Briscoe, in a late race battle to grab the victory. Win number 62 in the Cup Series. That ties him with Jeff Gordon for third all-time in wins after 700 career starts. The only names ahead of him on that list are Kevin Harvick and Richard Petty. And now JGR president Dave Alpern is publicly saying, "I'll believe Hamlin retires in 2027 when I actually see it happen." Here's the thing about Denny Hamlin that casual fans sometimes underestimate. He has been with Joe Gibbs Racing full-time since 2006. That is 2 full decades of institutional loyalty, team chemistry, and shared history. He is not just a driver for this organization, he is the identity of the number 11 car. Replacing him is not a transaction. It's an era-ending event. And right now, with the season barely in full stride and Hamlin already in victory lane twice, JGR has absolutely zero reason to start mentally moving on. From the team's perspective, why would you? He's outdriving teammates who are in the prime of their careers. He's making adjustments mid-race that most veterans with something to prove still wouldn't pull off. The locker room angle here matters too. Hamlin holds significant ownership equity in 23XI Racing, the team he co-founded with Denny Hamlin's business partner, Michael Jordan. That means his post-NASCAR life is already built. He's not retiring into uncertainty. He's retiring into uncertainty. He's retiring into ownership. That gives him the freedom to be disciplined about his exit timeline in a way that most drivers simply cannot afford to be. Now let's talk about what's really happening beneath the surface here. Hamlin's philosophy on retirement is genuinely rare in professional sports. Most elite competitors wait until the decline comes for them, until the results force a conversation. Hamlin is doing something different. He's trying to get ahead of it deliberately. He said it himself. His ego is paranoid about the downtrend. That's not a weakness. That's self-awareness at the highest level. He wants to walk away, still believing he can win every Sunday, not walk away because the results started whispering that he couldn't. That kind of discipline is almost counterintuitive in a sport where career longevity is treated like a badge of honor. But consider what happened to drivers who stayed past their peak. Consider how complicated those final seasons can get for the driver, for the team, for the legacy. Hamlin has watched that play out enough times to know exactly what he's trying to avoid. Now here's the strategic tension that makes this genuinely complicated. JGR has Toyota's development pipeline loaded up. Brent Cruz, William Sawalich, Taylor Gray, Brandon Jones, talented young drivers waiting for their opportunity. But none of them carry 62 Cup wins into the conversation. None of them carry that Hall of Fame resume or that institutional credibility. Alpern essentially confirmed what everyone around the sport already suspects. If Hamlin is still leading laps and winning races by the middle of 2027, the pressure on him to stay will be enormous. Not because JGR will force the issue, but because walking away from something you're still actively dominating is one of the hardest things any competitor has ever had to do. The risk here is a scenario where Hamlin gets to the summer of 2027, he's leading the points or sitting comfortably in playoff position. And suddenly, 2027 starts to feel less like a finish line and more like an arbitrary number he committed to 2 years ago. NASCAR fans are genuinely divided on this. The crowd that has watched Hamlin race for 20 years doesn't want to see him go, especially not in a moment when he's arguably driving the best stretch of racing of his entire career. There is something compelling about watching a 45-year-old outwork drivers half his age on a Sunday afternoon. That narrative doesn't get old, but there's another group of fans who respect the hell out of what he's saying. The ones who watch legends in every major sport hang on too long and tarnish what they built. They're cheering for Hamlin to have the discipline to actually pull this off, to walk out on his own terms while there's no argument to be made against him. The media angle, Dave Alpern going on SiriusXM and joking publicly about fighting Hamlin to keep him around, is not just a casual comment. That's a public signal to the NASCAR world that this organization is not letting him leave without a real conversation. Two ways this plays out. Best case, Hamlin stays locked into a 2027, wins more races, potentially makes another deep playoff run, and then walks away in a controlled farewell season that lets JGR transition properly to the next generation. His legacy is sealed, the development drivers get their shot, and he steps into full-time ownership with the number 11 story written the way he always wanted it written. Worst case, the 2027 season starts hot, Hamlin is running near the front, JGR leans hard on him to reconsider, and suddenly the retirement conversation becomes a distraction that follows both him and the team all season long. The mental pressure of deciding when to quit while still winning could create exactly the kind of turbulence that affects on-track performance. And if the results start slipping even slightly, the narrative shifts from legend going out on top to something a lot messier. Here's the real question that nobody in NASCAR can answer right now. Can Denny Hamlin actually do it? Not the winning part. He's proven that. Can he actually walk away from a sport he's dominated for 2 decades at a moment when the results still say keep going? Because he decided years in advance that he wanted to go out before the game made the decision for him? That takes a different kind of toughness than winning at Nashville after a restart penalty. It takes ego control that almost no elite athlete in any sport has ever consistently demonstrated. Drop your take in the comments right now. Does Hamlin actually retire after 2027, or does JGR convince him to stay? I want to know which side of this debate you're on, and if you want to keep getting this level of NASCAR analysis every week, hit that subscribe button before you leave.